Hi guys, it's Sophie. Welcome to Spin a Good Yarn. I am here today about to head into the big flock. It's the second year of the big flock and it was the very first year last year and my very first Fibre festival. So it feels super exciting to be heading in today. I'm wearing my Olga jacket today. That's the fit. And Nellie and Eve, who dyed the blue yarn in this one, are here today. So that's very exciting. Yes, so a very woolly weekend for me. I had Spinners and Weavers Guild yesterday and now Fibre Festival today. I will show you guys around a little bit, and show you obviously what I get when we get there too. So it's the next day. I had a busy day yesterday evening, seeing my little one, which was lovely. So yeah, would you want to see what I got? I'm so excited. I got such lovely things, and I think in a way it was even better because I was trying my really hardest not to just buy lots of yarn. So I'm going to show you yarn first though, because there is some yarn I'm really excited about and that I've had in my mind, at least since January. And that is the first two of these. This is dyed by Loom, one of my absolute favourite hand dyers in the UK. And this colour here is called a Milk Tea, and this one is called Heartwood. And this is on her alpaca linen base, which I just absolutely love. It's so incredibly drapey. And that is 50% baby alpaca, 25% linen, 25% silk. It is a proper luxury blend. Love the shine. And I'm going to make this one into a shell tee. This has been my plan all year. I just wanted to see the colours together to decide whether I went with, these called Rose Brown or Heartwood. I went with Heartwood with Milk Tea to have a subtler contrast, but I'm mega excited to knit this one up. This alongside, I went down on the floor so you could see this white knitting for Olive Pure Silk is the only summer or warm weather yarn I'm planning on knitting with this year. So yeah, really excited to have mindfully bought some summer yarn. And then the other yarn I bought wasn't planned in the same way. I didn't know exactly what I was going to get on what base from what dyer, but I knew that I was interested in picking up a DK weight sock scheme to knit my husband some socks. He asked last year for some thicker socks and I wasn't sure whether I'd like knitting DK socks and was kind of a little bit put off. I had lots of sock yarn and I'm now getting down on my sock yarn. I have 2 skeins of sock yarn left with me. I do have a couple other that are in storage at the minute and I'm just working through some scrappy socks. So it felt like a good time to think about purchasing some sock yarn. And I found this skein, which is very grown up, very demure, from the little grey girl. It's called Gunster and it's a high twist DK, superwash merino, I think 75-25, but the high twist is because my husband wears through his socks very easily, and with these being DK, just thought give it a little bit of extra something to try and hold together, but he will wear these in the winter. So they're almost certainly going to be a ribbed sock for him for Christmas. Yeah, so that felt really nice to have found something that I think he will really enjoy as well, and that has a plan. And it's very tempting to buy lots of lovely things that weren't in my plans, but I think I did so well. Then let's do product accessories, because I did get a few of those. This might be my favourite thing I bought, I think, from the whole show this year. I just think it's so unique. This is a bag by Butternut Handmade. I did keep the little card to show you, but yeah, it's Butternut Handmade. And these are printed project bags, drawstring closure, really lovely. And I have been using this one already for a pair of socks. I've just absolutely loved it. I think, I don't know, something about the kind of vibe of it, like the folky, darker vibe. I absolutely love it. So yeah, adore that project bag. She had loads of really lovely options. I was also tempted by a little squirrel one she had. So yeah, you might be able to see if that's still available on her site. Then I decided I needed to buy some buttons. I'm actually going to show you what for first before I show you the buttons. So I don't think I've shown this yet on my channel. I'm working up a Roma vest in 2 different yarns. It kind of has one front, so we'll get kind of a sense of it. 2 yarns. One is a variegated yarn that is blue and white, and it's being held with a Knitting for Olive mohair. I'll show you the back to see the colours a little bit better. But I was really struggling to know what to do with this, because together the blue is cooler toned, but this is kind of neutral toned. It's kind of reading a very interesting colour, and I just thought it's going to be really hard to choose buttons to go with this. So I went to the show with this in mind, to try and find some buttons. The first ones I picked out at the show in the daylight, I don't think are going to be the ones I go with, but they are absolutely gorgeous. So that's what they look like together. The buttons are by Zoe Makes Buttons. This is what they look like. These little handmade ceramic buttons. I think this would be beautiful on a plain white jumper with the blue buttons as like a detail. But they're just absolutely gorgeous, the matte colour, and I could have bought so many of her buttons, honestly. But those were the ones I thought most suited. So I was thinking about using those for my Roma vest. And then I found these buttons, which I think are going to be absolutely perfect. So these buttons are by Lilliput, right, and she makes buttons out of sea glass and driftwood. Now, again, if I try, I might choose the single button just for ease of holding it up. Think about how I can do this for you without having to take it off. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Do you know what? I love you. I'm going to take the button off. And I'm going to cut the red string as well so that you can kind of get the full effect, because I honestly think that this button might be perfect. So I think that there you can see that it's kind of like the same vibe, the same kind of half there, half not vibe of this jacket. I think that the irregular size is going to be just perfect to just add a little bit of interest. It's coming off slightly like yellower in tone than it is on the camera, but it is just literally this lovely little almost whitish, there you go, that's more true to real life, whitish kind of button colour. And I think that's going to pair so wonderfully. And when I'm knitting this one, it reminds me of the sky on a really cloudy day. So I feel like having a very nature inspired button was just absolutely perfect. I'm going to put these carefully back in the project bag so that I don't lose my single button. But yeah, so those are the buttons I think I'm going to use for my Roma vest. I think that will give it a really interesting feel as well. It will definitely be something unique. I have one more product accessory that I bought, which are these 2 little stitch stoppers. They're 2 little bears. I thought they were so cute. Yeah, they're not handmade, these ones. They're just on a stall, but mega sweet. And they're actually what I'm using on my Roma vest at the moment to keep my stitches on. So here they are. My little boy absolutely loved these. Thought they were great fun. So they felt like a really nice little indulgence as well. Then I did buy a little bit of Fibre. So Fibre isn't on my stash reduction this year. I have only got two, pretty much two tops to spin in my whole stash. I have a whole sheep's fleece, but we don't talk about that because it's not ready to spin yet. I'm looking over there because it's over there. So Tour de Fleece is coming up, and it's nice to just have some things in the stash. So I've just picked up a couple of things that drew my eye. And the first are these two from Cat and Sparrow, which I'm planning on plying together. I think they'll be really pretty plied together. So the first colourway is this one here, which is called Northern Lights. It's only 50 grams. I really like that they were like little bumps. I thought it was really cool. And it's 50% BFL, 30% Exmoor Blueface and 20% Wensleydale. They're all bred in Devon. And then the second colour is this one here, which is called Careless Whisper, which is pinker and purples down in and through, but still with some of those blues there. But I think those two will play very nicely together as a little, interested barber poling yarn. Maybe as a feature for something. I'd quite like to use some hand spun in a colour work at some point of some variety. So I think this might be it. But yeah, I just thought they were really cute. And then I mentioned, albeit kind of slightly off of the way, that I have like a huge pile of sheep's fleece that is nearly ready to be spun, nearly being the key word. And I've prepped it semi-worsted style, and I am going to be using it from a bat. So I'm going to be using it from a bat, pulling off strips and spinning it that way. But I haven't spun from a bat before, and not that this fibre isn't beautiful and special, but I have a whole fleece that I processed from scratch, and I just want to practice spinning from a bat for the first time. So I thought what would be fun is to get a little bat like this, which has some interestingness in it, so that if my technique is a little bit sloppier, I think hopefully with all of these lovely neps and interesting coloured pieces, it would look like part of the finished yarn. So this is the last little bit of fibre that I got. It's Polworth with silk and just some little neps added in. There's a big piece of silk there on the back. I think it's super pretty. I think I'm going to work this one with another bat that I'm going to make up. In fact, let me go show you what I think I'm going to turn into a bat to ply this with. So the other fibre I have that I think I'm going to be playing around with are these three. I might not use all of them, we'll see. So this is some Angora that I have, but I really struggled to spin by itself. This is some cashmere that I haven't touched. And this one I didn't buy at the show, but Nellie and Eve was there. This one is called, I think it's called Robin's Egg, Bird's Egg, something like that, a colourway, really pretty. And this one is 100% Welsh Mule, and it's not rough, but it's not terribly soft either. Whereas Polworth is a softer wool for sure. So what I thought I would do is, using my drum carder, try and add in some of my white fibre. Either I'll just do the cashmere and then I'll have enough for at least a 2-ply yarn with like one extra, like of a contrast, or I'll use all of it together and do 2 plies of this, one of the pink. But I also have the Angora, and the Angora is probably the one that's tripping me up the most. I need to talk to someone at my guild about it. I need to bring some to guild. But the fibres are just so short that I'm struggling to spin. Can you even see the fibres? Let's try with a bigger piece of Angora. So the fibres are such short staple length. They're not horrendous, but like when you actually like go through to find end to end, they're probably, let's grab some more so that you can actually see. They're probably about 1.5 inches in length. And I'm just struggling with that. I just don't think I'm advanced enough as a spinner to find that experience easy. So I was thinking about using it as add-ins, but I'm not sure whether that is the smartest move for the first time using my drum carder to card multiple fibres. So I may not do that with the Angora. I may keep the Angora for another time, but it's only 50 grams. It was just a fun little thing. So yeah, what I might do is just have these sort of pale pink and white, and then this blue and white, and then pair those two together. I think that'd be a really cute finished yarn. Yeah, so that's everything that I bought at the big flock. I had such a lovely time. Like, yesterday I just came home and I was just I felt so refreshed. Having got to talk to some of you guys who watched, that was insane, that there was people who actually watched the channel, who were there in real life. Yeah, I felt very lucky that you'd been able to come up and say hi, and for those of you that I managed to talk to like in more detail, it was so lovely to meet you and to get to chat. I feel like we're all definitely cut from the same cloth. Yeah, but more than that, like, 'cause it wasn't just about that, it was also like just all these other new connections that I made at the show, chatting with vendors that I've kind of connected with before, chatting with some new vendors that I hadn't met, and just like those connections that you have where you sit down next to someone and then you just get to talking and just have such a lovely conversation. It was a proper lovely weekend's worth of woolly activity, and it's properly refreshed me. I think whilst I have the Great British Fibre Festival at the end of the month, even if I didn't, I think it would sustain me for a good while yet. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed watching this video, and I'll chat to you guys again soon in my next one. Bye!